nervous to make this video because some people are real dicks about feminism, aren't they? Some people are. Lex is actually basically an expert on it, I think. She knows a lot of stuff. She's got a lot of opinions. I tweeted earlier saying, when you hear the word feminism, what springs to mind? A lot of response to that tweet. Zoe said equality, Daniel J. Layton said common sense, Gary C said frustration. Many people, male and female, misinterpret it for their own agendas. And then some people had some differing opinions. I think the majority of people, probably like us, think feminism means equality and like equal everything for both genders, whatever your race, your sexuality, where you come from, all of that, just equal across the board. So the people that don't think that, I'm not going to name and shame them because I don't want to start some sort of like witch hunt.
Yeah, and everyone learns things at different rates. Like, you asked me what feminism was like a few years ago.
Yeah, I did. I was like, what is this? Do you know, I actually thought that we'd solved it. Like,
cracked it.
Yeah,
Carry
truly,
on.
years and years ago. It was when Hazel Hay started talking about sexism, and I was like, yeah, but that's not a thing anymore.
It's done.
Yeah, and she was like, yes, it is. I was like, is that still a thing? And then I looked into it, and my God, it's still a thing. It's still a thing. So somebody said, we can't bring equality by focusing on one gender. Negativity comes to mind because so much feminist hate towards men. So I think what this girl's saying is that you can't talk about something being equal if you're only focusing on women. But feminism is about being equal. Men can be feminists. Many men are feminists. You can. The reason it's focusing on women is because across the world, women are getting like sticky wicket, aren't they?
Yeah, like, I mean, obviously people sometimes think that we don't need feminism like in the West because we've done that, and there are lots of different levels of like discrimination against women and oppression. In some countries, yeah, they're not allowed to drive, like can't own land, something we were talking about before. You know, not allowed to be seen out without a man. Like, in some places, like if you get your period, you have to go sit in a shed apart from everybody else.
Amazing.
Like, young women are just sent out, like, no, go, you can't live in the house right now.
Go bleed somewhere else.
Exactly. So yeah, lots of issues facing women worldwide on kind of different levels of the scale. That doesn't mean that small issues aren't still issues.
Yeah, so a couple of weeks ago we talked on this channel about how I always apologise for things because I feel like, oh, I've been like brought up to be like modest and not brag, whereas so often I find my male counterparts are so happy to confidently and comfortably talk about their achievements and their successes, and I never do. And when you compare that next to a lady in another country who is legally not allowed to own land, even if she wanted to and had the funds to, obviously her problem is a greater problem. So feminism encompasses all these things, from like the societal stereotypes that we face here in our country, which is the UK, to like huge areas where we need like huge, great big leaps of progression to get to an equal point. Do you think we'll ever get there?
I like to think so. I think society is changing. I mean, sometimes it feels like we're going backwards a little bit with like various political developments in the world. At the same time, younger people are more progressive generally. So it is much more likely that younger people will like vote and think in progressive ways. And I think, yeah, things are changing. There's change in the water.
I looked at the definition of feminism and it says the advocacy of women's rights on the ground of equality of the sexes. So it truly is purely about equality across the board. Someone tweeted suggesting that feminism is a trend. Thoughts on this?
Feminism's become a lot more accepted lately. Even a few years ago, like, people just weren't talking about it in the same way, and I think that means that it is kind of seen as more of a fashionable thing, but that is really good in a lot of ways because it means that if someone is, you know, sexist, a few years back people would just be like, ah, silly joke, and now people are like, no, like, come on. The more you learn and the more you think and the more you can take action or make progression towards, you know, a more equal future for everybody. And I think it's a really positive thing. I think it's just, I think that, like you said earlier, because of certain political situations, I mean, we're talking about Trump, aren't we? We're talking about Trump, we all know this. Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. That has brought on such a lot of discussion, which is a good thing. Discussion and like awareness and knowledge it can only lead to good things, I believe.
Knowledge is power, Louise. Knowledge is power. White feminism is feminism that only takes into account the issues and the problems facing white women, and it kind of puts white women at the front of feminism. And lots of feminists are like, you know, prominent feminists are white women a lot of the time, because they often have a platform or have been given a platform more than other women have, which is obviously part of the problem that we're trying to solve with feminism. So if you have intersectional feminism, that means that trans women, women of color, disabled women, all feel like they have a voice and a part of that feminism. So when people say don't just do white feminism, they're saying please take into account the experiences of others, amplify the voices of others that don't have so much of a voice, because as white women we are given advantages.
It's the white women's voices that we're hearing.
Yeah, and that's true, like we are white women and you're hearing about our experiences, but it's about making sure that you're aware of the other experiences that people are having that are different from yours. And yeah,
I mean let's face it, in a lot of cases much worse.
Yeah,
much worse. I know that obviously a problem is subjective, but I mean worse.
Yeah, we're in a position of privilege, so it's about using your privilege to boost other people and try and address issues that don't just face women like us, but face all women.
Everybody, all women. Something that I was thinking about before we made this video was what is the point of this? What is my point here? And I think my point was just to say, think about this, please. Audience, my lovely, we don't have a name anymore, it used to be Sprinklerinos, but my lovely people that watch this video, think about this. Like, let this be part of your day today, whether you go on and watch some other videos, whether you watch beauty hauls or you go out or you'll see friends. Just take a moment to think about this and think about how it affects you, how it affects the people you know, how it affects other people. And I'm not asking you to do anything specific other than just think about this and see where your mind goes with it, because you might stumble across something, an idea where you can help. You might want to talk to your friends about it so that they think about it, because the more people that know, the better the world is going to be, I think.
Agreed.
That might be the end of the video.
That was beautiful.
Well, you should head on over to Lex's channel. She talks about a lot of important things, and also some things that aren't very important, but you should watch them all. My favourite important video you did was you made this heartbreaking video about penguins that were being kept underground in London, and that really upset me. But one of my favourite silly videos you did was when you talked about what your nail varnish colour means about you. I enjoyed that immensely. Also, if you head on over, there's another video of me in it on Lex's channel about cats.
It's about cats. It's very important.
We've gone from one place to another very quickly. Be part of the conversation, have a think about feminism, think about what it means to you, think about what you can do to improve the world in general. And I will see you soon for another amazing video. You have to do this. Bye.